Hey guys, Keith the Human, Bowling Green, Kentucky. How are my fellow humans doing today? It is officially the day after. Uh, the day after all the votes were counted and the Antichrist was sworn into office again. What a sad, 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 and disgusting, demoralizing, insane fucking thing all this is. Donald Trump should have been in jail before the sun went down on January 6th, 2020. 2000. Yeah, fuck, he should have been in jail in 2002. That motherfucker's been a criminal his whole life, but we'll get back to the point. Um, the man should have been in jail, should have been in cuffs that afternoon. They should have come and got him. In the same world, that's how that would work. Um, Tried to overthrow the government, tried to overthrow it. And let's not even get into the fake electors and the harassment that he's going to get away with, the bribing, the threats, the RICO charges, stealing documents. This is fucking unbelievable, y'all. I mean, oh, he's still a felon, 34 counts, and he's going to get sentenced. But he is going to be our 47th president. I watched Kamala's press conference speech afterwards, short, sweet, and how about fucking see you later, basically what that was. Um, and then I watched her actually give the final vote count, and my God, y'all. She had to stand there and proclaim his victory over her, probably the most qualified candidate ever in the history of the United States of America. And she had to give a vote count of her defeat to the most unqualified son bitch that ever walked God's green earth for any kind of leadership position. There is not a fucking ounce of leader in that man. None. None. He possesses zero qualities that make a good leader. He don't have any of them. Name one. But she had to stand there, and when she said he got his 320 or whatever the fuck it was, they started, and then she went in, Kamala B. Harris, and they stood up and started clapping and drowning her out. She had to just stand there while these rich white men mostly stood there and clapped for her defeat. Right when she was calling her own name. That was the last thing that hung in the air when the applause began. And she had to sit there and take that shit in grace and dignity. Could you fucking imagine that lying on son of a bitch doing something, anything remotely like that ever in his life? Being humble, standing on the side of truth, standing up for the Constitution. See, that's the kind of shit a leader does. Her demeanor, her temperament that day shows you what kind of a leader Kamala Harris is. Of course, I'm sure the maggots are just going crazy right now with the insults and fucking just all these crazy memes, anti-woman bullshit. But how is Donald Trump a leader? This is the thing. 2/3 of these motherfuckers, especially the white, fucking working poor. They ain't middle class. They think they are, but they're working poor like me. How many of those motherfuckers would work for a guy like Donald Trump? A guy that just got up there and lied and lied and lied and bullshit and bullied people and made fun of them. And how many people would stand that if that was their boss at their factory or on the construction site? He'd have his nose broke probably in a lot of places. They'd haul him out on a stretcher in a lot of places. But somehow they stand up and applaud this motherfucker. Back before the first election he won somehow, I was sitting with my dad, and I asked my dad, why do you vote Republican? Because as long as I can remember, my dad votes Republican. I said, they don't do a fucking thing for you. There's no policies that work in your favor that they do, that they back. He said, because I feel like we're safer under Republicans. And that's a military thing. My dad's ex-military. Poor kid that joined Vietnam to keep from getting drafted. And he didn't have to go into battle. He got in a communications job. Got through like that. But he goes to the American Legion. They all sit around and just swap bullshit all day long. Little corkscrews in the brains of each other. As Devo used to say, corkscrew in the brain. Talking about what society was happening with all the propaganda and the bullshit we believe in. Put these little corkscrews, it's fucking our brains up. But yeah, they make us safer. Somehow, I don't know how you even get that. I mean, George Bush Jr. lied us into fucking two wars that make us any safer. I don't know where they get that shit, but how does this motherfucker, this big mouth know-it-all, bully, punk, make you feel safer? Do you know what temperament is? Do you know what being able to control your emotions is? You've got to have a working understanding of how these things operate in society with other humans, not just in a leadership role, a huge leadership role like the President of the United States, but in everyday relationships with people. You got to know people like Donald Trump in your life and not want to hang around them, and not want to be around them, and not want to think about them, and not want to be like them. And sure to fucking God, not vote for one for president. You realize this man has the most important job on planet Earth, the most powerful job on planet Earth. He could start a war with his mouth. With his mouth. That shit he been spouting out to Canada about let's make them a 51st state, he better watch his fucking mouth and who he says that kind of shit to. Y'all want another 9/11? That's how you get another 9/11. Not one qualification of a leader does this man have. never takes responsibility for anything. Throws anybody and everybody under the bus. As soon as he gets connected to somebody that did some shit, well, I don't know them. I've never talked to them. And then you'll find there's tons and tons of evidence. Yeah, he did. Uh, he'd throw his own kids under the bus. I don't know no Ivanka. He would do that kind of shit because he's a piece of shit. Could you imagine Donald Trump being your little league coach or your junior pro football coach for your kids? Could you imagine having that kind of man with that kind of character coaching your children, trying to teach them values and morals and ethics and decency like leaders are supposed to? Could you imagine that guy? I don't think he'd last long. I don't think he'd last at the high school level. And I've seen some pieces of shit high school coaches for sure. Control freaks, idiots. But nothing like this guy. A guy that lies every time he opens his fucking mouth. You know, there's probably times when he opens his mouth he doesn't lie. Let's say the vast majority of times that this man opens his mouth, he spews bullshit. That's a leader. That's a quality you want in a leader. Somebody you can't trust anything they fucking say. Trust is the main thing that you build when you're a leader. I haven't held very many leadership roles, but I coached junior pro football for about 6 years and middle school football. And you learn a little bit about leadership when you do that. This is just small time, but it's still leadership. It's valuable leadership because you're forming children's minds. You're wanting to show them the right way. How do people vote for this guy knowing their children can see this? All the stuff they've taught them about being a decent human being, this guy throws it out the fucking window. How is it unreal, man? I guess it's on one of the libs, huh? Oh, you got us. Oh, you got us. Y'all got our democracy. Good job. Sometimes you think you come to terms with this, and then you start thinking, you're like, God damn, man. I don't think I'll ever completely come to grips with this. How people could be so driven by fear, anger, hatred, resentment, racism, that they could vote for this rich, lying con man who's always been a con man, who's not done a fucking thing for us, won't do a fucking thing for us. Got a bunch of people killed during COVID because of this bullshit, because he wouldn't acknowledge how bad it was. Could have got a jump on shit. Could have got a jump on shit if they'd have fucking not thrown away the plan that Obama left in case something like this happened. A real leader would have took that advice. A real leader would accept when they got beaten instead of lying about it and getting people to try to overthrow our government over it. A real leader admits when they're wrong. A real leader knows how to be strong, but also knows how to be humble. A real leader doesn't brag about things, especially themselves. And especially they don't brag about dictators, which seems to be a hobby for this motherfucker. A real leader has empathy. A real leader isn't cruel. A real leader doesn't cut people down and make fun of them and give them nicknames and lie about them. A real leader leads by example. And that's the most sickening part of all of this. This man embodies everything I was told not to be, not to look up to, not to emulate, and especially not to worship. People have lost contact with their hearts and their souls in this country. Their flesh and their brain is controlling everything, all of this. But maybe this is how it had to be. Maybe we have to burn it to the ground. I mean, I'm all about burning capitalism to the ground if we can come up with a better plan, which I think many people out there have got one. There was a guy named Bernie Sanders several years ago that we wouldn't have been in this mess right now if we'd elected that man. But here we are. Here we are. And all I can say is God help us. Keep your heads up. Keep fighting a good fight. Love you guys. Peace.